On the night of February 4th, 2016, inside the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, one of the most secure financial institutions on the planet, someone was moving money. Not with guns, not with explosives, not with an inside man in a suit. Just a keyboard and an internet connection. And by the time anyone realized what was happening, $81 million had already vanished. Gone. Transferred across 3 countries, laundered through casinos, converted into cash, and the people who did it were sitting in a room thousands of miles away. They never touched American soil. They never met a single bank employee. They never fired a single shot, but they came within a single typo of stealing $1 billion. This is the story of the Bangladesh bank heist, the most audacious cyber theft in human history, and almost nobody knows the full story. To understand how this happened, you first need to understand what they were targeting. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York, not just any bank. The Federal Reserve holds more gold than any other institution on Earth. It processes trillions of dollars in transactions every single day. Its security systems are among the most sophisticated ever built. And yet, it has one vulnerability. Every central bank in the world is connected to it through a messaging system called SWIFT. SWIFT stands for Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Think of it as the email system of global banking. When Bangladesh Bank needed to transfer money held at the Federal Reserve, they would send a SWIFT message. The Federal Reserve would read it, verify it, and execute the transfer. Simple, elegant, and for decades, this system worked perfectly. Because nobody had ever figured out how to fake it convincingly enough, until now. The people behind this heist were not ordinary criminals. They were a group known in cybersecurity circles as Lazarus Group, believed to be operating out of North Korea. State-sponsored, highly trained, completely invisible. They had been studying Bangladesh Bank for months. Watching, learning, planning, they sent phishing emails to Bangladesh Bank employees. Simple emails, fake job applications, innocent-looking attachments. When one employee opened the attachment, the malware was inside, silently, invisibly. The hackers were now inside Bangladesh Bank's network, and they stayed there, watching everything, for almost a year. They studied how the SWIFT system worked inside the bank. They watched how transfers were authorized. They learned the exact language used in official requests. They identified which accounts held the most money, and they waited, patiently, until the perfect moment arrived. Bangladesh Bank held approximately $1 billion at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. The hackers wanted all of it, but they were smart enough to know $1 billion request would trigger immediate suspicion, so they broke it up. 35 separate transfer requests, each one carefully worded, each one mimicking real Bangladesh Bank language perfectly, each one targeting different accounts in different countries. The destination accounts were in the Philippines. Specifically, 4 accounts at the Jupiter Street branch of Rizal Commercial Banking Corporation in Manila. These accounts had been opened months earlier by people using fake identities. They were empty accounts, waiting, like open mouths, ready to swallow everything that came in. The hackers also chose their timing with surgical precision. They would send the transfer requests on a Thursday night, Bangladesh time, which meant it was Friday morning in New York. The Federal Reserve would process the transfers. Then the weekend would begin. 2 full days before Bangladesh Bank opened on Sunday and noticed anything was wrong. By then, the money would already be gone. February 4th, 2016, Thursday night in Bangladesh. The hackers activated their malware inside Bangladesh Bank. They accessed the SWIFT terminal, and they began sending transfer requests to the Federal Reserve. One by one, 35 requests, each one perfectly formatted, each one using real account credentials, each one indistinguishable from a genuine Bangladesh Bank instruction. The Federal Reserve received them, processed them automatically, and began executing the transfers. 5 of the 35 requests went through successfully. $1 billion was the target, but something happened that nobody planned for. The Deutsche Bank, acting as an intermediary on one of the transfers, noticed something unusual in the wording of a request. They flagged it and contacted Bangladesh Bank for verification. It was the first crack. Bangladesh Bank, still unaware that anything was wrong, tried to contact the Federal Reserve, but it was Friday evening in New York. The office was closed, and by the time anyone could respond, the weekend had already begun. Here is where the story becomes almost impossible to believe. The hackers had 35 transfer requests ready. 5 went through successfully, totaling $101 million. The remaining 30 were stopped, not by sophisticated security systems, not by advanced fraud detection software, not by a team of expert investigators, by a spelling mistake. One of the transfer requests was destined for an account at the Fandation in Sri Lanka, but the hackers, in one single moment of human error, misspelled the word foundation. They wrote Fandation. The Deutsche Bank routing system flagged the unusual spelling. A suspicious routing instruction combined with the misspelling caused the transfer to be held. The Deutsche Bank contacted Bangladesh Bank for clarification and everything unraveled. One typo. 4 missing letters saved $920 million. The 30 remaining transfers were frozen, but the 5 that went through were already gone. $81 million had landed in 4 accounts at RCBC Bank in Manila, and the moment it arrived, the withdrawal began. Within hours, the money was being pulled out in cash, moved into foreign exchange brokers, converted into Philippine pesos, and then funneled into the casino industry. Casinos in the Philippines at that time were not subject to anti-money laundering laws. It was a perfect loophole. The money entered the casinos, mixed with gambling transactions, became untraceable, and disappeared. When Bangladesh Bank finally reached Philippine authorities, most of the $81 million was already gone. Only a fraction was ever recovered. The rest vanished into the financial underground of Southeast Asia. What followed was one of the most complex international investigations in financial history. The FBI, Interpol, the Bangladesh government, Philippine authorities, the Federal Reserve itself, all trying to trace where the money went, all trying to identify who was responsible. The investigation pointed toward Lazarus Group, the North Korean state-sponsored hacking organization, the same group responsible for the Sony Pictures hack in 2014. The same group believed to be behind dozens of other cyber attacks worldwide. North Korea denied everything, as they always do, but the digital fingerprints were undeniable. The malware used in the Bangladesh heist was directly connected to malware used in previous Lazarus Group operations. The coding style, the infrastructure, the methods, all matched. A nation-state had robbed a central bank from thousands of miles away, using nothing but code. The Bangladesh Bank heist exposed something terrifying, not just about North Korea, not just about cybersecurity, but about the global financial system itself. The SWIFT messaging network, which processes $40 trillion in transactions every year, had been compromised, not hacked directly, but used as a weapon against the very banks it was designed to protect. In the months after the heist, similar attacks were attempted against banks in Vietnam, Ecuador, Taiwan, and India, all using the same methods, all exploiting the same SWIFT vulnerabilities. The hackers had found a blueprint, and they were using it again and again. SWIFT itself was forced to issue emergency security updates. Banks around the world scrambled to upgrade their systems, but the damage was done. $81 million gone from one of the most secure financial systems ever built, by people who never left their country, never showed their faces, never fired a single weapon. Bangladesh Bank eventually recovered around $15 million. The remaining $66 million has never been found. The RCBC bank manager who processed the withdrawals was convicted in the Philippines. Some of the money mules were identified and prosecuted, but the people who actually planned and executed the heist, the Lazarus Group, have never faced justice. They continue to operate, believed to have stolen over $2 billion from financial institutions worldwide since the Bangladesh heist. All for one purpose: funding North Korea's weapons program. Think about that. The money that disappeared from Bangladesh Bank in 2016 may have funded missiles, nuclear research, a weapons program designed to threaten millions of lives. One hack, one night, one typo away from being $1 billion. And the people responsible are still out there, right now, looking for the next target. This has been Noir Ledger, where money meets the dark.